Have you ever had that feeling? You know, the one where the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and your gut is just screaming at you that something is wrong. I used to dismiss it as just nerves or an overactive imagination. But not anymore. Not after what happened in that elevator. I'll never take that specific one again. And honestly, I think twice before stepping into any elevator now. It was a late Tuesday night. I'd been working overtime at the office, finishing up a big project. The building was practically deserted, which wasn't unusual. Just me, the hum of the servers, and the occasional creak of the old building settling. Around 11 p.m., I finally packed up my laptop, grabbed my coat, and headed for the elevators. There are 4 of them in the main lobby, all glass and polished steel. Normally I wouldn't think twice, but that night only one was waiting, with its doors open. The light inside seemed to flicker just a little, but I was tired and just wanted to get home. I stepped in and pressed the button for the ground floor, G. The door slid shut with a soft whoosh, and the familiar gentle lurch began as we descended. 15, 14, 13. Everything was normal. I leaned against the back wall, scrolling through my phone, half asleep. Then, between the 10th and 9th floors, the elevator shuddered to a halt. The lights blinked off, plunging me into complete darkness, and then came back on with a dim, emergency glow. Great. Just what I needed. I sighed and pressed the call button. A crackly voice came through the speaker. "Maintenance, what's the problem?" I explained I was stuck, and they told me someone would be there in about 20 minutes. Annoying, but what could I do? So I sat down on the floor and waited. That's when I heard it. A soft scratching sound. It seemed to come from the ceiling, right above the emergency hatch. Scratch, scratch, pause. Scratch, scratch, pause. I told myself it was probably just a rat or some mechanical noise. But the sound was rhythmic, almost deliberate. Then the floor indicator, which had been off, suddenly lit up. But it didn't say 9 or 10. It showed a single glowing red letter, B, for basement. My heart skipped a beat. This building doesn't have a visitor-accessible basement. The G button is the lowest you can go. The elevator then jolted downwards. Not a free fall, but a slow, grinding descent. I scrambled to my feet, pounding on the door and shouting, but it was useless. It kept going down past G, into uncharted territory. It finally stopped with a heavy thud. The doors didn't open. The scratching from the ceiling stopped. The silence that followed was somehow worse. It felt heavy, suffocating. I held my breath, listening, and then I heard a new sound. A faint, wet, dragging noise from outside the doors. It was slow, and it was getting closer. My blood ran cold. I backed away from the doors, pressing myself into the far corner of the small box. The dragging stopped right outside. I could almost feel a presence on the other side. A minute passed. It felt like an hour. Then the metal doors began to groan and buckle inwards, as if something incredibly heavy was leaning against them from the other side. A thin, dark liquid started to seep through the crack between the doors, pooling on the floor. It had a coppery, metallic smell. I couldn't scream. I was paralyzed with fear. Just as I thought the doors would burst open, the elevator lurched violently upwards. It shot past the ground floor, past all the numbered floors, gaining speed until it slammed to a stop back at the 15th floor, where I started. The door slid open to the empty, brightly lit office hallway. I didn't hesitate. I sprinted out, not looking back, and took the stairs 15 flights down. I burst out into the cool night air, gasping for breath. I never found out what was in that basement, or what was trying to get in, and I don't want to. I quit that job the next day. Some things are better left unknown. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have a creepy experience you want to share, let me know in the comments below. Stay safe out there.